This is Swiss and Chips, your British guide to Switzerland.
Hello and welcome to Swiss and Chips. My name is Simon.
And I'm Joe.
And today we've got an interesting episode for you, which is about a sensitive Swiss topic. Are we even allowed to speak it out loud?
Well, I think maybe in previous versions of my life, I wouldn't have dared to speak about this. But in our current situation, I think it's going to be okay.
Okay. Last time, that was in October, last time we published. So we are on a regular basis every few months.
Exactly.
We try to
We're
keep
back,
it up.
baby.
Yes. We said the topic is going to be only in Switzerland. And what is only in Switzerland?
I call it the curse of the washing room.
Ooh,
spooky.
Before we dive in, for the people listening to us for the first time, I'm Simon and I grew up in a nice mountain village in the Bernese Oberland. And
I'm Joe. I'm a broadcast journalist from the UK who moved to Switzerland 15 years ago this year. In 2022, I became Swiss.
Yes, and this podcast we started a few years ago because when we talk to each other, we realize there are many misconceptions. I don't exactly know what that word means, but
That's the misconception about that word.
It sounds about right. It sounds complicated and true. Important, it sounds.
Yes, misconceptions, misunderstandings, mishaps, if worse comes to worse.
Exactly, and I felt it's pretty sad that people move to Switzerland and they have sometimes difficulties where there shouldn't be. So we try to explain a little bit or talk a little bit about these to make life ever so slightly easier.
Yeah, and sometimes we even have a bit of a laugh.
Rarely.
No, there's going to be lots to laugh about in this episode if you're feeling evil.
Absolutely. So today we talk about the washing room, the do's and don'ts of the washing room. What did you say? What was the official name?
I'm calling this episode The Curse of the Washing Room.
Oh, yeah.
It's
the
like
fear.
I'm Watson.
Exactly. So before we talk about this, we have the Swiss Bytes. And then after our main topic, we have the Learn About Swiss German and we make a listener poll. I don't think we agreed on a question, but maybe we'll find one during the episode.
Okay, good. I've got a question in mind, so we're covered.
Oh, great.
No worries.
All right. So we start off with the Swiss Bytes. I found an article. It's ages ago.
Doesn't matter.
I saw it on SRF, actually, the Swiss Broadcasting Corporation, right?
SRF,
German.
It means Swiss Radio and Television in German.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it means. And it's about popular Swiss songs in the 1980s.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I wonder how many of those I know.
And
I wasn't here in the 80s.
The article is in German, but it has like 5 songs, popular Swiss songs that were in the hit parade. Do you know what the hit parade is?
Hit parade.
Yes. And it used to be obviously most sold in Switzerland. Oh yeah, probably. Obviously, that's in every country. What am I
we
talking
call it
about?
Top of the Pops in England.
There
we
you go.
did.
The hit parade, which was always on Sunday afternoon, and we always
same
listened.
for us. It was Sunday evening.
We always listened to it.
That's because it was the sales of the week. It's not weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. We listened to it. It was, I think, from 4 to 6.
Oh, ours was on at like maybe 7 p.m. or something, I think.
And I
I'm
think
not
in
sure.
the first hour were more to, rubbish, and then it was more and more to the top.
It built up to number 1,
Yes.
and then it was super exciting.
Yeah, and I always was on the way home from a ski race, and we listened to it in the bus.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah,
Ours was on
good.
TV. We had
Loved
TV
it.
at that time in the UK.
And my sisters always recorded them on, that's how old I am.
They also did a countdown on the radio. I'm just pulling your leg.
Anyway,
Yes.
the article was about popular Swiss songs, and it made me laugh because I listened to them. I thought, I'm sure I know a few of them. Couldn't quite remember most of them. And the top song was a song about cows.
Come on, you can't be
Yes.
serious.
Unfortunately, I think we can't play it really, but it was for 10 weeks in the hit
10
parade.
weeks?
Yes.
Does that mean
and
it was in the top 40 or the top 10?
in the hit parade means, I think it was top 50 if I'm not wrong, but the peak was number 2.
Blimey.
Yes.
I'm
and
blown away by that.
And
I don't know why. We had songs about chickens, ducks, frogs, etc.
Yeah, I put the link in the show notes so you can listen to it. I highly recommend it. And I want you to guess who was the group singing it or producing it, more to say.
How on earth should I know that?
It's the Matterhorn Project.
Okay.
Yes.
I feel like I should know them.
guessed.
I feel like I should know them.
No, you won't. You know what? We pause here for 1 second.
Yeah.
And I quickly play it for you.
Thank you.
For everyone listening, I put the link in the show notes. Listen to it right now.
Join in at home and click on the link.
Right.
It's so bad. This is so bad. That was so bad. To be fair, I didn't hear the words, but it was...
There are no words. It's just...
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're not serious.
It's just
You're not
mooing.
serious.
Yes. Anyway, so...
The 80s were really the golden age of music, weren't they?
Swiss culture.
Oh, man. That's ridiculous.
Okie dokie. I hope you learned something important today.
If you've just moved here, welcome to Switzerland.
All right. Let's move to the main topic then.
Yes. And things only get worse from here on out. So I hope you've got a return ticket. I'm just kidding. All right. The curse of the washing room. And this is serious. This is hard talk now. Because if you're living somewhere in Switzerland, this may have already happened in your life. If it hasn't happened yet, it's going to happen. So get ready is all I'm going to say. At some point in your life living in Switzerland, unless you live in a building where no one else lives, you will have an argument or some kind of fallout with someone over the washing room if you share it.
The chances are high. Let's put it like this.
In fact, it's factual. Because
in fact, it's factual.
It's not just based on my own terrible experiences, but arguments over the washing room, that's a shared room with the washing machines, potentially a dryer, potentially where you hang up clothes, then the most common cause for disagreements among neighbours in Switzerland.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
But that's maybe where we should start.
Yes.
So if you try to find a flat here, you might, depends where you go. If you go very much on the
countryside,
then you might have your own even house with an own washing machine.
In which case you can only argue with the people that you chose to live with, and that's your own fault.
Exactly. Or your lords, ladies.
Yeah.
If you are in town, chances very high that you live in a flat where in the basement is a shared room with shared washing machines and shared dryers. Mm-hmm. And there are different type of systems.
Yes. Oh, gosh. Yes, I'd even forgotten about this.
Right. So there is a system, first of all.
Yep.
It depends.
Let's go from like liberal to highly
let's
regulated.
Yes, good idea. But before, the ground rules.
Okay.
So sometimes you have to pay for it individually. So you have a card, for example, a badge.
Yeah.
Or you pay by coin or something.
Some sort of tokens, yeah.
Some sort of tokens. Then there is a system. Oh, now we go into the systems, yes. And very liberal is like whoever washes.
Whenever, any time of day or night, you can just go down there, and if it's free, you can do your washing.
Just like one big family, and you do the washing whenever you can.
Yeah.
I would say the normal standard, most often used, is that there is a sheet where you write in when you are using the washing machine.
When you want to use it.
Yes.
A sign-up sheet.
Because then
so
you
block
can
your
plan
slot.
a little bit. Yeah, you can, maybe there are 4 slots per day or something from 9 till 11, 11 till 2 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Then you can write in your name. As long as it's free. First come, first served.
Yes.
And
then?
Then there is the more, in bigger houses with more flats, there is also sometimes very common that you have fixed slots. And that's my absolute worst case scenario. Luckily, I never lived in a flat like that.
Neither.
But I don't know how people do it. So for example,
they
would
have to
say,
take time off work.
You are having your day, sometimes it's only once a week. It's the Thursday afternoon, for example. What? Imagine having a child and she, I'm not sure, does things in her bed, like,
or drops food on her clothes.
Or something like that. But imagine something worse, or you have like, you vomit or whatever.
Yeah. You can't wash.
And you're just like, well, it's Wednesday, so
C'est la vie.
c'est la vie.
We'll
Or
just wait.
Thursday evening.
Yeah.
Then you just have to wait for a
Or you
week.
wash it in the sink.
It's just absolutely a nightmare.
Yeah, that's a mega nightmare.
Absolute nightmare. Then the other rules that are very common is no washing on Sundays and no washing at night, usually between 9 or 10 in the evening and morning at 7.
Yeah.
The reason
And
is...
some places you can't wash like over lunchtime, for example. There's this sometimes rule of having this quiet time at lunchtime.
I've never heard...
I think that's
heard
not
of the
so
quiet
common
time,
nowadays.
but not so much with the washing, but it's possible. The reason is often someone lives in the flats right above the washing machine, and if it's just running all day and night, it's not so great, I guess, for them.
Mm-hmm. So there you go. And if this is new information to you, just maybe pause the podcast right now and let that digest a little bit.
Yeah, and let that sink in, because I think, for example, if I look for a flat and you will look for a flat and people will ask you, shall we go down to the basement to look at the washing arrangements?
Yeah.
Ask these questions.
Yeah.
You might be somewhere on a train or on a bus or somewhere right now and just chuckle and think like, yeah, but no, but do it. I promise
go
you will
check it
not
out.
regret. You will have to ask, what's the washing system? Who pays for it? When can I wash? For how often can I wash? For how long can I let my washing dry?
Yeah, sometimes there are rules about that.
And, is there any other rule about the washing? And it's why to do that is not only because of the washing, because you want to have some kind of freedom. It also gives you a sense of how the house is and
How
the
the
owner
building
is.
yeah. How people are that live there. Are they living in like a kind of strict totalitarian environment, or is it more a kind of free-for-all situation?
Yeah.
And then you need to pick something that suits you, obviously. If you like strict totalitarian environments, then you're going to want to do your washing on a Friday morning between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m.
Yes, but
potentially.
to be fair, I mean, there are different type of people in the world.
That's right.
The disadvantage of have complete liberty, which I obviously prefer, the disadvantage is you might need urgent washing and it might be in use for a long time.
Shall we get into the personal stories of washing room disasters now?
Sure,
or
go
are there
for
more
it.
rules to be had?
I think that's the main rules.
That's
I mean,
pretty much, isn't it?
there are unspoken rules.
Right, and that's what we're going to get to in the scary stories
There you
section, I
go.
think.
Let's
the
go.
unspoken rules, I think, is where it gets messy. So, where do I begin? I've heard horror stories. Not all of these have happened personally to me. But I had a friend. It isn't a urban legend because it's actually a friend of mine that this happened to. And what was she doing? She was hanging up her washing, and then a person who lived in the building came down and completely freaked out because she'd hung her washing on the same row as where her washing already was. And she just lost her mind over it. And it's like, well, what should you do? Because in these washing rooms in the basement, sometimes they have maybe like 6 washing lines hanging up there. And, say like 6 different families live in the building. People do washing at different times. Maybe there isn't a row free for you. Maybe you need like maybe 3 of these washing lines, and maybe there's only 1. So then what do? Maybe you can't tumble dry. I don't have a tumble dryer. So obviously she hung it up there thinking it was fine. Apparently it wasn't fine. And I then took this to mean that this was an unwritten rule that you should never hang your washing on the same row as somebody else's. So later in my time in Switzerland, somebody had one thing hanging on a washing line. I had a lot of washing, and I moved this one thing to a different location, one of these freestanding dryers, so I could put mine there, and this person was not happy about it. You see, so there are different unspoken rules in different situations.
Absolutely.
And often you only find them out when it's too late.
That's completely true.
And that's when the arguments can happen.
That's absolutely true, yes.
Apparently.
No, it's true. I mean, that's why it's a sensitive topic.
Yeah, right.
And I don't really know why.
No.
I can then tell one story of my friends.
Oh, yes.
Luckily, I was, lately we are very lucky with our arrangements. It's liberal.
And we discussed it before we moved in as well. And they said, no, just, you can do washing whenever you want. If washing is in there and you come down, you can take it out and put it in someone's basket and put yours in, stuff like this. And everybody is happy with that.
Yeah, but also here I would say the unspoken rule is that, you just live and let live.
Yeah.
So if you don't have space, you might fold someone's washing a little bit, so you've got a little bit of space. Or you take out someone's washing, or your washing is going to be taken out and put somewhere, just like normal, I'd say.
That's normal. And it's very nice if your clothes are the ones that get folded.
Absolutely. And this is one, by the way, what I wanted to say before, when you said this hanging and there is no space, you could have a hanger in your flat, but the problem there is the mold situation.
Exactly. That's maybe a story for another episode.
Yes.
Because it can create moisture in your flat. So it's not strictly speaking always allowed, is it? Unless you monitor it very carefully.
It's not always completely allowed, yes. Which is fair because it can create mold quite easily if you don't,
ventilate.
Exactly.
We're getting very technical.
Right. But
tell me your horror story.
A friend of mine, he was hanging his washing on a Sunday. And people complained.
No.
He was hanging his washing outside on a hanger. And the neighbors complained.
And he'd washed it on a Saturday?
He has already washed it the day before. No. In the morning, he realized I washed it. Went out to hang it outside. Yeah. And the neighbors complained because it was a Sunday.
Well, that I really don't get. You see, you just don't know these things, do you?
Yes, but also I would say, there are rules and idiots, and yeah, but it's true, usually when you move in somewhere, there are quite clear rules and you sign a contract and it's written what's there.
Yeah.
And usually that is don't wash after 10 and maybe not on Sunday.
Yeah.
But there's nothing hanging outside or...
Yeah. Don't hang on my washing line.
Yes. So
don't touch
these
my
kind
socks.
of things.
Yeah.
And then there might be some kind of rule like be sensitive with each other.
Yeah.
Respect each other's washing.
Respect the integrity of someone's clean clothes.
Yeah. And that's about it, I'd say.
Yeah.
Also, now these are the horror stories. And like I said, or like you said, the spectrum is very, very wide. And I think it's just important to make sure before you move in because it can be quite a bit,
Yeah, and you know what? It's hard to imagine now if you've never had a sort of washing room disagreement that these things can happen. But sometimes they just come out of nowhere. They come totally from left field and bam. There was another time, because often there are 2 washing machines, which is like, wow, you can do double your efficiency in the washing area.
Yep.
And I was going on holiday the next day and someone was down there. What were they doing? They were taking washing out of both washing machines. And I was like, oh, brilliant. I can put mine in then, maybe in one of them and you can use the other. And the person said, no. And I was like, I don't think that's really fair to, dominate both of them. And I urgently need to do washing because I'm going on holiday. And they said, no. I said, wow, you know what?
Then you would have been so happy to have one of these things where you can write in your name before you...
Yes, I would have. See? Yeah. Then I could have booked it for my trip.
Yeah. What I tried to say is...
That was really unfair, I thought.
Yes. You are treated unfairly with your washing.
That's right.
I think it's a wide range, important topic. Make sure before you move in, but then you will not have big surprises.
Yeah.
And so far, I was mostly lucky and...
Yeah. And you know what? If you've got a washing machine in your own flat, then take that place.
Yes, that's obviously the creme de la creme of flats if you have a washing machine in your flat.
Big time.
Right. Shall we move on?
Yes, please.
Learning Swiss German with Swiss and chips. And the word today is Töggelä.
Ooh, say that again.
Töggelä.
Is that a verb or a noun? A verb, huh?
It's a verb.
Töggelä.
I can help you a little bit. I give you some hints.
Is it toggle?
No.
You don't know what toggle means, do you?
No, but it's not.
Okay, good.
We talk about the toggle. Isn't the toggle a thing on your jumper or something?
Yeah, if you don't have any toggles on this hoodie, but those strings that hang out of a hoodie, sometimes there's a toggle on the end and then it stops the string getting lost inside the hood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So toggle... Töggelä comes from töggeli.
That's like a little doll figure thing.
Now the verb of a little doll. It's a sport. What type of sport do little dolls do? A ball sport.
Skittles.
Maybe.
Is that when there are like 6 Skittles and you roll the ball to try and knock them over?
Yeah, that could be, but it's not. It's even smaller. The Töggelä are the size of my hand, a finger maybe.
What?
They're on a table with a ball.
Huh?
There are 11 against 11.
Oh, yeah, I know this. Table football.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yes.
So Töggelä.
Cool.
So if
That's
someone
to play
asks,
table football.
Yes. So if someone asks you, "Vil du Töggelä? Do you want to play Töggelä?" That means do you want to go and play with the small dolls? Right?
I like this description of football.
There you go. All right. So that's an unuseful word to learn.
No, that's very useful for you to blend in at the office. Yo, mate, want to go Töggelä?
Exactly. That's exactly what's happening. Now, you said you've got a listener poll.
Yes. I would like to know how many of our listeners have already had an argument with someone over the washing room? Have you or have you not?
Oh my God.
And then we'll find out if it's still a problem.
All right. And where can people vote?
On our website.
And you will put the link
in the show notes.
Very good. So all advertisement done.
Yeah.
Go to our show notes, click on the link, click on had argument, had no argument,
yeah,
or don't want to tell you.
In which case, no need to click on the link.
Exactly. True, but they might want to know the answer.
Ah, yeah, true. Also,
or if you don't want to tell us and you want to know the answer, just tune in next time.
Indeed.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Bye.